Welcome to Here for the Health of It podcast. We have a great show for you today. We have Fernando Posada, who is the Vice President of International Construction Services Roofing Company. He talks about how he started it with his father, Milton. He talks about being from Colombia and his career as a professional soccer player. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks for listening. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Here for the Health of It podcast. I'm Dr. Randy here with Dr. Tom. As always, thanks for listening, for sharing our stuff. You can find us on social media. And if you give us a follow and a review, we look at those and we'd appreciate that. We have a great show for you today. We have Fernando Posada from International Construction Services Roofing Company. He's the vice president. His father, Milton, started the company in 1995.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, it's great to have you here. So tell us what it was like then. Your father started this company and then brought you into it. What was that transition like?
Well, it's funny because he didn't even want me in the company.
Really?
Yeah, so to tell you that story, I got to go back. I was an athlete all my life, a big soccer player. I got to play in Colombia, South America professionally. Got to play in Australia.
Did you ever fake an injury, pretend that you got hit and you didn't?
You talking about like
In
when
soccer.
players kind of roll and everything?
Yeah, like have you seen the one where like the paper airplane flies down and like barely touches him and he's rolling on the ground?
I know that video. I don't know the statistics or if they're winning, but hey, if you're up 1-0, minute 80, take the
Yeah, you're gonna take the dive.
You gotta burn some time. You're trying to win a game, right? You know.
Fair.
So, but I was a center back.
Okay.
So I didn't have time. The center back's got to be.
Don't know what that means.
No.
He's a hockey guy.
We're defenders. You know hockey, so you know.
Pull that microphone up to you just a little bit. Yeah, I'm a hockey guy. Yeah, that's better.
So defenders.
Yes. Okay.
Those are the tough guys.
That's a center back?
Yeah. So I was a center back.
You knew that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a center back.
Okay.
You can't be diving as a center back. You just look weak. You know. So
Right.
I
think diving in general is a little weak.
No. But every sport's starting to copy it though.
If hockey players ever start diving, in hockey, there's penalties for diving, and your team disowns you.
You're also allowed to go fist to fist.
That's true.
For like
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So diving doesn't fit in that one. You know? But so I was an athlete. After things didn't work out, right? Just messy. You know, we weren't making the money. You know, they were still my parents were still helping me out and stuff. I just couldn't make it on my own. You know, living out there. I decided to come back home and figure it out. You know, I finished my career around 25, so I still felt I was a little young to get into coaching. I was like, if I go out there and coach, I'm gonna want to play. You know, so I saw my father with the company, and I was like, hey, let me come help you out. You know, I've seen you and my mother, you know, start this, you know, the stressors and everything. Let me relieve some stress. Like, no. He's like, you're just gonna come in and chill, kick your feet up. You know, you think this is gonna be a walk in the park. And he actually didn't want to bring me on, and I had to talk to one of his advisors at the time that he was helping him with, you know, hiring different talents and stuff. And I spoke to him, and he ended up turning around to my father and said, you hire random people. You know, you get resumes and you still hire random people. You're not going to trust your son? So I always took that like a chip on my shoulder.
And then how did you negotiate your salary?
Oh, there was no negotiation.
Oh.
No, at all.
Whatever he decided.
Yeah. I was like, cool, you know? No, and I like that, right? And, you know, I took it as a challenge. You know, a little chip on my shoulder.
Right.
Okay, Pops, let's see how it is. Okay, I got you. Let me see what I can do. And I just hit it with so much energy, you know, early mornings, late nights, just going at it. Sales, but also trying to, you know, help out, learn at the same time. Because he didn't just let me come sit by him, you know, the first few days or anything like that. You know, I went out with the roofers. I went out with the repair technicians, you know, just grinding it out, learning the ins and outs. Now I look back and I realize why he did it. You know, when you have these conversations about roofing, and the technicalities they come easy to me because I've been there, right?
Yeah.
Or managing people as well. You know, some people are so used to the inside, so used to the outside, but I have both now. Yeah. You know, I'm like, hey guys, you guys aren't on a roof, you know, 90-degree weather. Let's cut them some slack. You know, when they answer their phone, they're not going to be, hey, how we doing today? No, they're kind of pissed off and they want to finish the job and get out of there. And you're asking them for extras, right? To do this, to do that. So I understand both things, and I really appreciate the way I was trained.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Columbia Family Chiropractic, with 3 easy-to-get-to locations, one in Forest Acres, which is by Trader Joe's, one in O'Neill Court by the DMV, and one in the Northeast by Sand Hills. You'll be sure to have somewhere near you. They offer a ton of services from corrective care on-site digital x-rays, spinal decompression for bulging or herniated discs, dry needling for injuries, pediatric care, and a class 4 laser. They accept all your major insurances. And if you mention this ad, you'll get a discount on your first appointment. Check out their website at cfc4health.com or Google Columbia Family Chiropractic. That's cfc4health.com.
Did Big Milton get on the roof? Like, is that how he started? Do we call him Big Milton? Do we have any nicknames for him?
He's got a lot of different nicknames. You can call him Big Milton. Yeah, he'll love that. When he hears this, he'll love that. He did.
He did. That's where he kind of got into it and got the passion to.
Never roofed though.
Oh, really?
We make a joke. He actually makes this joke. He's like, if you tell me to go roof a house and to keep my business, I'll lose it.
No
Because
kidding.
he never roofed a house. He was a businessman. He saw, okay, this is
Yeah.
how roofing. He knows of it. He knows, we can speak and tell you, but we've never had to. I've roofed a house. I've some sheds and stuff like that, just to get the hands-on experience.
Right.
But we were never roofers.
No
Just
kidding.
business owners. Yeah, he was an airline pilot. That was his thing.
And then just retired from that and got into the roofing business?
He had some ups and downs. And back then pilots weren't making what they're making nowadays.
Right.
And we were moving. All my brothers were born in different cities, different states. So we were moving a lot. My mother hates moving. And he was ready to settle, like just stop moving around so much. The pay wasn't good. And one of his good buddies was like, hey, I'm doing roofing. Let's do, come help me out with this. And at the time, he was a subcontractor for a roofing company. And my father was like, no, we need to work. We need to work directly for the builders.
Right.
So that's kind of where they were clashing a little bit. His business partner at the time stayed in Charlotte. My father moved to Columbia. And this was when Columbia was not much at all.
Yeah.
Nothing existed, right?
95 you said, right?
That was around 2000. That was around 2000. Mm-hmm. And that's where they got started. My mom in the living room with the little dinner table TV, the yellow notepad.
Yep.
And my father was wearing all the hats in the field,
No kidding.
And I got to see all that. And then to be a part of it nowadays, it's a blessing because I saw that and I wanted to go so much further because just how far I know they've come.
Yeah.
Did they ever forget to pick you up from soccer?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're starting a company, it's hard to keep track of your kids.
Well, I make fun of them now, but I understand it.
Yeah.
Like now that I'm in
Behind
the
the
thick
scenes,
of it,
yeah.
I'm like, I understand you guys completely. There was times where they were later. I was by myself. The coach stayed behind. He's like, Fernando, they on the way. I'm like, yeah, I promise. All my soccer practices were always in, Chapin, that Ballantyne area.
Yeah.
And we kind of always lived on the northeast side of town. So then it just took forever as well. And it's cool though. Now I look back and I'm like, yo, I love that.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. I went through that type of stuff because it makes me stronger for what I am doing today and more appreciative. Like I look at them, I'm like, you guys are real heroes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you do have brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
Are they involved at all in the company?
My older brother followed my dad's footsteps and became an airline pilot as well.
Oh,
so he's
wow.
actually he works for American Airlines.
Yeah.
And he likes to stay involved with the company, but he's more behind the scenes. He was doing some estimating for us. He always likes to be involved with the company. So he asked for the kind of odd job, like give me something to do, right, with the company. I want to be involved. And my younger brother, we actually launched not too long ago. We do a lot of stone work as well, and it wasn't that big at the time, but it's grown so much now that my youngest brother, he actually took on the stone department. So he's the head of the stone department.
Really? What is stone work? Is it like walls and stuff?
So we do like a lot of stone fronts, stone accents,
Oh, gotcha.
fireplaces, things of that nature.
Yeah. Did your brother marry it used to be called flight attendant?
No. He met his wife back when he was still in college, and they've been together ever since.
Yeah. Is she's not a pilot?
No.
Is it a requirement to be handsome in the roofing business?
Not necessarily.
What about facial hair?
Facial hair in construction.
What about wearing blue shoes? He's just gonna go through everything
what about
that you're wearing.
blue?
What about white Nike shoes?
Great jumpsuit, by the way.
That's just personal,
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I looked at the facial hair because that's a big thing for me when I'm picking construction guys. You gotta have it.
Yeah, makes them legit.
Yeah, like I feel like I can't trust somebody without it.
No,
you know what I mean?
If this had been a couple of weeks ago, I think you saw me and it was all, and I was like, I gotta get that trimmed down.
Yeah.
I can't on a podcast looking like that.
Yeah, you kind of got it faded on the side. It looks
just a
like.
little bit.
Yeah, it's good. And then I saw, so you got fresh sneaks on right now.
Okay.
How many pairs of sneakers do you have?
I'll be honest with you. I'm not a sneakerhead.
Oh, really?
No. I just have a few. I love white sneakers.
Pure white.
My wife gets on me all the time.
Yeah.
She's like, another pair of white sneakers? I was like, they get dirty easily.
Right.
But I also like the way they look. They go with everything. Why not?
Yep.
You know?
Good
So
point.
I have a lot of white sneakers,
Yeah.
but not anything crazy. I'm
Nothing.
not a sneakerhead.
How about on the job? What are you wearing?
On the job,
Yeah, what's your go-to shoe? You going
Tim's.
Tim's
Yeah.
with the
Not the. I don't think. We're thinking of the same ones though.
which ones are you talking?
Not the. I don't know. There's always like this classic pair online, like New York. I think.
Yep.
Is big on. That's not the ones that I wear.
Which ones do you have? Like,
I
they're
don't know like the names or anything like that.
Just straight construction ones.
Yeah.
Are they like
some brown ones, some black ones? Make sure they match the
Yeah,
type
nice.
thing.
Nice.
And then some jeans
Jeans
and a hard hat.
and a hard hat.
Do you go hammer loop on your jeans?
No.
Not anymore.
I'm not
Did you
swinging
used to?
hammers. No, never. I don't swing hammers.
Does anybody on the crew do the hammer? Remember the old hammer loop that would come out?
Mm-hmm.
Do they still have those?
I don't know if
wondered
they still
about
have
those.
them, but the guys aren't wearing them.
Because there was like a little pocket kind of thing, and then there was a hammer loop,
Yeah.
which was like, I mean, I remember having them as a kid, and I wasn't swinging hammers. I don't know what.
They're not wearing them, but I don't know
Yeah.
if they still exist or not. But they're not wearing those.
Yeah.
It's all nail guns now, though.
Yeah.
That's
why.
they probably don't swing a hammer.
It's
much at
to
all.
get that one nail that stood out, basically.
Yeah.
You know, you're nailing the one that you barely reached.
Oh,
that's the one
yeah.
that's the one they tack down.
Yeah.
What are we looking for in crew? Like when you're recruiting crew for roofing, do you look at their car? Like if they pull up, if they're not in a truck and say they show up in like a Subaru, are you being like, this isn't going to work
No.
right away?
No.
Oh, you don't even judge there.
I don't judge the car. No. I
okay,
let them come talk to me. My biggest thing is if they're safety. I tell them flat out, you got to be safe if you're going to work with me. Quality, we can work on that, right? I
Yeah.
can teach you how we do it. Safety, though, is a must, especially with the exposure that my company has is a little different. So we're
Right.
doing all these. We're doing the roofs for Mungo Homes, the United Homes, used to be Great Southern, D.R. Hortons, those big builders around town.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of exposure out there. So and as well, safety is the most important thing. We're top 5 most dangerous things
Right.
in the construction. So yeah, of course, safety. I break down my safety, and I let them know as well. There's fines if my guys find you on the job without one of these requirements.
Yeah.
You
I love
find
that.
them personally.
We find them.
Yeah.
right away. And that's how I just start off the conversation. I was like, if you can do this, safety and the quality, then I let you grow as well. If you want to put in another crew, can they meet the same requirements? Yeah.
Right.
You can train them to do the same thing because you already know what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
So and then that's how I've helped a couple of crews, have their own businesses as well and grow as well. It's just, hey, this is what I'm looking for. You can have more work. Just make sure you're checking all the boxes.
What does that look like? Talk to us more about safety. Like the average Joe doesn't know. Is it just like they're hooked up to ropes and are they wearing hard hats? Are they wearing goggles?
So they have to wear the goggles. There's typically, there's different types of PPE. You can get very intricate and talk about ladder safety and the compressor safety and all that. But the general rule of thumb is the anchor on the roof. You have to use an anchor. It's clipped off as well, and you have to wear a D-ring harness. Some people like to wear the ones from the waist.
Yeah.
OSHA will find you all day long for those.
So
those
one-
are like rock climbing type things.
So you're talking like almost like a backpack version.
Yeah, almost. And then it has a little D-ring you clip on.
Yeah.
And you have to wear that. The safety goggles because they're using pneumatic guns, and those are the ones that we're drilling every day. Just because
Steel toe boots.
No, steel toe
No
boots.
steel toe boots.
No boots are. It's not OSHA. For the roof.
Yeah.
Roofing. Because boots can be dangerous on the roof as well. Yeah.
What do you wear for
They're a little
footwear?
bit heavier. A lot of guys wear sneakers.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I saw some sort of like Velcro type thing.
Is
that the new thing?
I'm drawing a blank here.
New hotness.
Cougar poles.
Yeah.
Cougar poles. Yeah, those are a lot of. I require all my area managers to get a pair.
Well, and that's just like they're just sticky, like
Oh, man,
special.
it's like Velcro to the roof.
Do you put them on any shoe or they're a separate shoe?
It's a separate shoe.
Yeah.
And you can as soon as the bottom gets old, you can tear that off and put a new sole on kind of thing.
I love safety.
Guy, he wears a helmet when he drives his car.
I just love safety in general. I love seat belts, helmets.
It's good.
Just because
Eye protection.
Why not? Eye protection. I'm
Wrist guards.
I'm with. Yeah. I think the steel toe thing, when I'm thinking back to when I was doing construction in college, there was many times when I didn't know how heavy something was going to be, or the forklift guy didn't know what he was doing, and my toes could have got destroyed.
Of course.
Or even a nail gun, if you're really focused, you're not going to hurt yourself. But it's when you work 12 hours in the middle of the day and it's 90 degrees. Yeah, or you get comfortable, or there's a new guy on the job and who knows what he's doing. It's his first week and who knows.
I think that happened to me.
Happened to you?
Yeah, I left my feet on a roof. I kind of jumped. There was like a whole bunch of hoses or something. So I didn't fall or anything really crazy, but I wasn't supposed to. You're not supposed to leave your feet, on the roof, right? So, but I like jumped over, and everyone was like, "Don't ever do that again."
Whoa!
Your dad would have our asses if I
really?
did that. Yeah. So don't ever do that again. I was like, oh, "Okay, my bad."
Has anyone fallen bad
through a roof?
Through a roof? Yeah.
Yeah, or off a roof.
Yeah. Well, I had both situations, but one guy, luckily, it wasn't. There was a rotted piece of plywood, so he kind of fell through and landed in some soft fiberglass.
Really?
Softer than what it could have been, right? And then there's been accidents, ladder. A guy fell off a ladder. Thank God it wasn't the roof or anything like that.
Yep.
But
my father-in-law falls off a ladder twice a year.
Twice a year?
Yeah. And he doesn't. He's not a roofer. He just does things around his house.
Okay, I guess it just happened.
Just doesn't know ladder safety.
And he's only on a ladder twice a year.
Yeah, literally.
What kind of insurance? So, I mean, one of our friends is in the roofing business, and he said the insurance is insane.
That's crazy.
What are some? Do you know any of the numbers like that you guys have to have that it costs you guys just to protect your guys for safety?
Not off the top of my head.
It's like six figures, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
A year. It's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With that, like, how does your training process go? So do you ever get anybody new, like new, kind of like you, where you're like, I've never been on a roof, or are you guys more like they have to have some experience before they can even join?
No, I'll give a new guy an opportunity. So we also fly drones. So that helps with those new guys as well. They have to go get certified and everything like that, because a lot of roofing companies don't know you can get fined by the FAA. If you're getting paid to fly a drone, you can get fined by the FAA. You have to register and go do the whole thing.
It's like a pilot's license or something almost.
Yeah. If you're just doing it for fun, you don't have to. Gotcha. If you're getting paid, you have to go get it registered and do the whole nine, get the FAA license there. And so that's the first step of, if you're new, that's the first step of training is go ahead and get your drone license. Right. That's what I need you to knock that out. And that's a pretty, it's a difficult test. Right. I've had some guys fail in my company. Not pointing any fingers over there at Ishmael, but I have some guys fail and some guys pass. But it does look difficult, and but once they take the time to study that, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, you're the new guy, but you've also taken the time to really drill this in your head. You really to make the next step. If you can see that they're not interested, then I don't need you either.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what are they looking at? They're looking at the shingles, or they're just trying to figure out square footage?
No, you could do both, but they're looking more at the shingles. So it's kind of like you door knock, the salesman that I have, you door knock, get on the roof to check for that damage. Now you can just fly the drone, and the drone gets you pretty good images.
Wow.
And you can save a lot of time.
Yeah, that's nice. Take us through the interview process. Is there anything weird you do in the interview? Is there anything that, like, any physical feats that you make them go through? Do you have to show your biceps, show how fast you can get up a ladder, any of that stuff?
Well, there's different positions, but if you're talking about crew related, no, nothing like that, or how fast.
No physical fitness, like do 10 push-ups.
No. I just asked them to show me some of the work, for metal roofing, especially. Yeah. Show me some work that you've done before, because that's not throwing up shingles. Metal roofing, the more intricate roofs, the little more complicated. I asked to see proof of work, and I'm not gonna experiment with one of my customers, so I make them show me stuff like that. But as far as the roofing crews, kind of their first job.
That's kind of their test.
That's their test.
Yeah.
And then I'll show up on them, surprise them, and right away. I don't even do the fine with the first. If they're already not following safety protocol, I'm like,
gone.
This is not gonna work out, guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
I warned you 20 times in the first meeting, and now this is the first issue. So, yeah, I'm big on that.
Yeah.
There's probably a fitness factor that they have to have, though.
Oh yeah.
And you probably ask them, are you comfortable being on a roof for 12 straight hours and 100 degrees temperature?
Sit in this sauna for an hour.
If they're roofing, they know the game, so I don't have to ask that question. Right. But there is a physical factor. I mean, I'll be honest with you. We did a soccer team with my guys. I work out every day.
Yeah.
I think I'm in pretty good shape. these guys sometimes tell me I don't have time to work out. You know, they eat sometimes once a day.
For sure.
Red Bulls for breakfast, and you know, and they get home and they're done and they're ready to do it again the next day. You know,
Day in the life would be wild to watch them.
yeah, and we did this soccer team, and they're running more than I am half the time. Like, dang, guys,
Yeah.
you guys are in good shape. They're like, we carry bundles up and down. We're always moving.
Right.
You know, we're not sedentary. You know, so that's kind of what they are. They do. There's a physical, you know, physical sense.
Is there any requirements for water? Like, do they have to drink a certain amount or anything to stay hydrated?
Yeah. So, do they follow it? Not all the time.
Right.
They want to get done as fast as they can. But we tell them, especially when it starts getting hot, you know, we're like, hey guys, reminders. We give them out waters. You know, we try to do the best to enforce it. But a lot of the guys, like I said, you know, safety is so big. We kind of care more about it than they do at sometimes. You know, the roofers sometimes they just want to get done. You know, it's so hot or it's so cold. Right. They're just like, get me home. You know, so let's go fast. And sometimes that's the problem. The safety stuff is what they say. Oh, it slows me down. It's in the way. I'm like, guys, at the end of the day, I'm trying to get you home as well.
Right.
You know.
What did you mean when you said you did the soccer team?
I made a soccer team for the company, like Team ICS.
Oh.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys
You sponsored a team, and
No,
and then the guys
I made a team. Yeah, for the company. Whoever wanted to play can join
in a men's league.
in a men's league.
Oh,
Yeah.
and they're good. They're pretty good.
Oh, we were balling.
Really?
Yeah, we were good.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
What's the age group in that?
Soccer or roofing?
Like for the men's thing?
Oh, you might want to join.
I need to get some reps
It's
up.
actually not a bad idea. I got into playing hockey twice a week now, and it's so fun.
Where you play hockey around here?
Irma, or cheap. I guess it's cheap.
One ice
Plex,
rink.
the Plex, is it still
Yeah,
the Plex out
Plex. Yeah,
there? Because the Plex in San Jose is no more.
no more. Well, they used to have just like I guess a roller rink, but I think they changed it to a go-kart track now.
It's go-kart now.
Yeah,
It's been a while since
trampolines
I've been
and all
out there.
that.
I haven't been out there in a while. I might go check that out.
Yeah,
Is it cool?
I don't know. My kids go there.
Bounce houses, all that stuff.
Ask them if it's cool. For
I know. I don't know if I have to go check the safety there though, because I don't know. I don't know. You get like a 7-year-old behind a go-kart that goes pretty fast.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing.
No.
They think that they're invincible.
I remember that.
So where do you guys play soccer?
We were playing Saluda Shoals.
Okay.
That's where we did the league.
And is it like 20-year-olds or are we talking 40-plus-year-olds?
Some are 20 years old and some are 40 plus.
Yeah, that's where
it's
it's
a big
tough.
mix. Yeah, it's a big mix.
And you play once a week, probably.
Yeah, we were playing on Sundays.
Sunday nights.
Mm.
Indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor. 11 for 11.
Now, so just a day, I love talking about the crew because they're just an enigma to me. They show up like a SWAT team and just freaking crank from like the moment you allow them, 7 a.m. They'd probably go earlier if you were like,
there was light, yeah.
Yeah. And then they go until like they can't see. And I'm thinking like, so then they get in their car. Are they smokers? Like, do you have any smokers? Have a cigarette? Maybe like a Snickers bar. I don't know. And then I just think they got to go home and go to sleep, right?
Yeah, it just depends on the crew, man. I'll be honest. There's crews that are heavy drinkers.
Yeah.
You know, if I had to get rid of crews because they pull out a Corona in the middle of the day, I'm like, guys, we're not doing
Really?
that, you know. And I've been told, hey, they're doing it again. They're gone.
Right,
You know, and
right.
We talked about safety, right?
Yeah.
You know, sweating all day, you know, one beer can do it, right? So, you know, there's crews that do. There's crews that smoke. There's crews that are super healthy.
Right.
I got guys that ask me for gym advice, and then they go hit the gym sometimes.
Yeah, nice.
You know, late at night or afterwards, and then they try to be as healthy as possible. So it's a toss up.
Are they a lot of like family guys and gals, or like are these guys that are just single dudes, young, just putting in the work?
Recently I've seen a big mix.
Yeah.
A lot of I have a lot of young crews, but in the same time, there's a lot of the older guys that are kind of teaching those younger guys, you know, and then they all kind of know each other, know of each other, and yeah, they try to guide them. They try to guide them on.
Yep. And there's different positions, right? There's like a ground crew, and then there's the guys up top.
Yeah. So the new guy's called the chalan in Spanish.
Chalan?
Yeah. And
What's that mean?
he's picking up all the garbage.
Yep.
Yeah. He's the new guy.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's on the ground just picking up, you know, and the guys that are actually nailing are pegadores, which is actually, you know, they're the ones
Hammer
nailing,
time.
Hammer
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
The elite guys.
Yeah. The best of the best. And then you got the head guy.
Yeah.
He's also sometimes nailing as well, but he's the head of the crew, foreman. If you
Kind of keeping an eye on everything.
Keeping an eye, and you know that's who my guys speak to most of the time. Is that one guy making sure the quality's there, making sure we're doing certain steps. All my different builders, you know, have different scopes of work that we got to follow, different ways that they want the roof done. So we have to speak to that guy to make sure that his crews know.
Nice. Do you ever do any big parties for the crew? Like once a year, maybe every so often? Just
I'm actually in the middle of planning one. Parties, not necessarily, but I do want to have like a big dinner for them, or a big luncheon. You know, get a couple food trucks. You know, there's so many guys, so just grab a couple food trucks and let them have, you know, an option and kind of do something nice for them, because I feel like sometimes those guys go a little bit underappreciated.
Right.
You know, kind of what we just talked about. You know, they work so hard and you know, day and night. Sometimes, you know, the Red Bulls for breakfast. You know, just because they want to get it done, they want the speed. You know, those guys, a lot of them aren't the ones that enjoy what they do. A lot of them tell me, no, I can't stand roofing. I do it because it's good money and you know. But it's not, you know, their passion or anything like that. You will meet guys that say, I love this. I did all of construction. You know, I've talked to the guys like, how'd you end up in roofing? And they're like, man, I've done framing, I did concrete. I didn't like anything. Roofing was cool to me. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So he's like, this is what I enjoy. So you meet both sides of the spectrum.
I meet a lot of framers,
you know,
who love what they do.
Yeah,
they're obsessed with like wood framing. Okay, they just talk about it and think about it all the time.
Okay.
Roofers, I'm trying to think if I normally have.
They're never around. Like they're just working.
They're working on it. They always have jacked up trucks too. I find, is that a stereotype?
Like raised.
Look, I was gonna say messed up trucks.
No, like
which type of jacked up?
Well, no, we were joking when we were getting this place built out, and we've had quite a few projects we've done, that you could tell who the tradesman is by what his vehicle was.
Really?
If he was an electrician, you knew, oh, that's an electrician vehicle.
Really?
But if it was a truck with a 4-inch lift or a 6-inch lift, you're like, oh, the roofers are here today.
my guys might be a little different, man. They do have their weekend cars.
Yeah,
you know, they have their weekend. You know, I saw a guy pull up the other day, and it was kind of a nice truck. You know, and I was like, I've never seen you drive that one. He's like, oh, it's to pick up my checks. It's to pick up the checks.
Yeah, keep that one clean.
Okay. You know, some guy came in like a souped up Honda. You know, it was loud. And I was like, what is that? And I was like, I've never seen you drive this one. He's like, no, my weekend car. I'm like, okay. They got their weekend cars for the checks. Yeah.
Dude, when you spend 80 hours on a hot roof, you just want to go out on the weekend and do something fun, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. What do they do? What are they doing for fun?
A lot of them like they just like watching sports. A lot of them chill, you know. But it just depends on the generation.
Yeah.
You know, the younger guys are always telling me what they do. And they were always trying to invite me. I'm like, yeah, I'm married. I can't. That was maybe if I would have started a little bit, and I can't do it anymore. But the older guys are, you know, that's who I've gravitated towards a little bit. Just because they're always trying to, their purpose is a little bit more. I can see that they're trying to feed their families. That they work hard for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And you can see that younger guys still don't understand. You know, they're a little bit more below. Hey, let's blow the money. You know, we got, you know. The older guys are more like, I got to save here. You know, they ask me for advice sometimes. You know, what can I do to accumulate a little bit more? I'm like, yeah, do that. Savings accounts, you know, simple financial advice that they've never had.
Yeah.
I try to help them out and you know, kind of budget and let them, hey, send this back home or do this. You know, so I've gotten closer to the older guys because they're trying to, you know, learn.
Nice.
Does Milton give him any advice?
Back in the day, he did. My father's almost 100% retired now.
Is he?
Yeah.
What does he have any advice that he passed on to you that you think about a lot?
One of the big ones, I guess it could be advice. Just one of the big ones is he always said, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. And he said that, and it stuck with me. I talk with my team because we're doing so much. We're doing. There's so many big projects to be done, so much work to be had, and you can tell tension starts building or people get stressed. I'm like, hey guys, we don't have all the answers right now, but how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So let's start slowly, and that's something that stuck with me. My team even makes fun of me for it. They're like, we're gonna make T-shirts and where how do you eat an elephant? Just because I say
just a team mowing down on an elephant. That'd be a great T-shirt.
Just because, that's a big one. That's a big one.
It's good.
That, you know, he taught me that.
What if you were to get a gift for your crew? Like, what kind of gifts would you give for Christmas or something like that? Like, what would they like? Like a belt?
I want to say maybe some soccer jerseys.
Oh, soccer
Yeah,
jerseys.
they're always
yeah.
they're always when I see them on the weekends or something, they're always rocking a soccer jersey, their favorite team, their favorite players.
What kind of league are they? Do they watch the English stuff, or are they watching more South American stuff? What
They
are they into?
watch a lot of European, so they watch the England
Yeah.
and they watch La Liga, which is in Spain.
Yeah.
Big on Barcelona versus Madrid.
Yeah.
Oh, have you been to Barcelona before?
No, I was. No.
When the weather's bad, what do? We always need to know what the roofers are up to when it's just a stretch of bad weather.
They're at home.
They're just chilling.
Yeah.
So that's
Waiting for it to clear up. And obviously my staff, and we're always doing something, you know, there's
Yeah.
always something to be done internally. But the roofing crews themselves, they're chilling. They don't like it,
right.
you know.
Is that like, do you guys send out a text, or how do you know that it's like, hey, it's going to rain at say 1:00? What do you?
If it's gonna rain at 1:00, we let them get started.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we let them get started, and then if it starts, they hop off the roof.
Gotcha.
But if it's raining from 7 a.m. till 1:00, let's say, well, we don't even drop the houses. I cancel the drop. We've already gotten to know each other. Everybody
Yeah.
knows me. If it starts off raining, there's no drops happening that day.
Gotcha. Any issues with lightning ever? Anybody get struck by lightning that you're aware of?
No,
No, really.
never had that.
Okay.
Knock on wood.
How about solar panels? Are those a big pain in the ass for you guys? Like when you're dealing with a roof with solar panels?
Well, yes and no. It's good because there's more money to be had. You know, it's
Yeah.
good for business. But we subcontract. I partner up with the solar guy, and he's in charge of removing and replacing them and everything like that.
So you guys do the shingle side of it, and then somebody else comes in and hey, like if you had to redo a roof that already had solar on it.
Yeah.
Oh, what
That's
do they?
kinda how it works,
Oh,
yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
you still need them to look at that. What's your favorite roofing material? Like, what's the material that's your go-to?
Like brand.
Yeah, brand maybe, or like style. Is there kind of a standard?
Well, a lot of people don't know about this, and I've noticed that from a couple customers that are like, yeah, let me get that. So there's designer shingles
Really?
that are like the Gucci and the Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
The designer world, right? You know, they're extremely expensive, but it's not you. All you see around town is the architectural,
Same
the
old,
retail,
yeah.
the same over and over and over again. So, like metal roofs are extremely expensive, and I've had customers tell me, quote me a metal roof. I know it's expensive. Quote me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. Here you go. They're like, ooh, that's way too much. And they're like, okay, give me regular arc. I'm like, whoa. There's middle ground here, right?
Sure.
I was like, you heard about designer shingles? And I put like my salesman hat on. And I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
they got designer shingles, man. Your house is big. It's nice. You need something different. This is how you make it pop.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know. He's like, I didn't even know that existed. I thought there was just metal roofs, architectural, and retail.
Is there a big difference between them or no? Like, do they last longer? Do they just look nicer?
Yeah, it's a way better product. Yeah,
Gotcha.
there's better warranty. They're heavier shingles. There's a different way of installing certain ones, and they look a lot different. There's different types of designer
Right.
shingles. Different cuts to it. They've got some that try to mimic like slate,
Yeah.
concrete slate, and so there's different ones.
Has there been any different colors in the roofing game? Like, could somebody go custom color, blue or something like that?
Before COVID, that was a lot easier to do.
Yeah.
When COVID happened, they kind of started narrowing down the choices.
What they'll offer.
You could just now. I purchased a big Gamecock fan, wanted red designers,
Right.
and those are taking about 4 to 5 months to get in.
Oh, wow.
So you can get them, but you just got to be prepared to play the waiting game, because they won't be readily available.
Yeah.
Kind of like the way they used to be before COVID. You could easily get kind of those colors within a month.
Yeah.
But now production and everything. They just, let's hold back. Let's just sell what we make. Mm-hmm.
I have a solar question going back to that.
Okay.
Do you know much about the solar
No,
world?
I don't.
Who's your go-to for solar stuff?
I just a buddy of mine.
Okay.
He's works in the solar industry, and
Because everybody talks about it, but there's different salesmen and companies, and the companies come and go.
that's the problem. Yeah, so I haven't really wanted to get into it just because of that. I just was kind of staying away, stay in my lane, kind of thing. I don't like to bite more than what I can chew. So I've kind of, if it happens, if I got some solar, I make sure the guy's certified and everything. And he's the one that helps me.
Yep.
But as far as companies or anything like that, I've just kind of
Yep.
Cut my
You like to
distance
eat
from
the
it.
elephant one bite at a
One
time.
bite at a time, right? Yeah.
Well, have you guys done any of like the wooden roofs or like the stone roofs? I think there are.
No, I haven't yet. I've quoted some, but I haven't wanted to do.
There-
Once they
are
see
they
the
just-
price, they get away from
Are
it.
they just are they crazier than metal, like the wooden shank type style?
Oh yeah, they can be. They can be. Yeah.
Just like cost wise.
yeah, cost wise.
Yeah.
And then the labor for it as well. You know, those crews that do those types of jobs aren't the same ones that are throwing up your shingles every single day.
Right.
You got to go find a crew that's done these and done them multiple times. Yeah, you don't want to have a makeshift crew out there learning, you know, on the job, especially you know that big or that expensive. So you got to go find that crew that specializes in that.
Well, and in Phoenix, they have special types of roofs that are basically concrete or
Ceramic.
Is that what they are? Ceramic?
Yeah, I think so.
Because those are cool. Every time I'm there, I think, oh, these roofs all look nice. And then I come to South Carolina and there's none of them. But we're not in the middle of the desert. But I'm curious if that might be making its way over here.
I think what I've noticed is South Carolina is a cheaper market. You know, they try to. That's why you see a lot of 3-tab roofs. They try to keep it the houses a lot cheaper. Obviously, you want to sell a product, but I don't think it'll be making a move here anytime soon. No.
Back in your soccer days, were chicks just throwing themselves at you?
I was wondering that too.
It was a good time, man. And
Your wife's gonna listen now. Listen, your
Hey,
wife's
no,
probably gonna
this
listen
was-
to this.
She knows. She knows.
Okay, good.
Hey, she's my wife. You
Yeah.
know, she knows everything about me.
Complete honesty
And
between you two.
Yeah, and this was before her. You know. In Australia, I'm the one with the cool accent.
Yeah.
Australians here have the cool accent.
Right.
They're like, "Oh, you have an American accent." I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "It's so cool." Like, I guess, yeah. Man. You know, so, and then in Colombia when I was playing over there, you know, they call me El Gringo. I'm Colombian. You know, that's where my family's from.
Oh, no kidding.
But I was still the different one. You know, my Spanish was still different from theirs, and they're like, "Oh, you're not from here." You know, so
Right.
yeah, I can't complain about my soccer playing days. Those are really fun. In college as well. I mean, I'm sure you guys know as well.
You were a gringo.
That was my nickname.
Yeah, that would be like me going back to Canada and them calling me a Yankee,
Okay.
which might be
That doesn't happen? No?
Well, I'm Canadian that just got my U.S. citizenship a
Okay.
year ago,
Okay.
so I don't really know yet.
Have you lived longer here than you have Canada?
No,
No?
I've lived in the U.S. I've lived here for 7 years,
Okay.
and I went to chiropractic school for 4 years in Iowa,
Okay.
so 11. So
Okay.
but the rest was all in
Nice.
Canada.
No. What about your accent?
I say a lot of weird things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say garage.
Okay. But for them, is your accent
Oh.
different in Canada?
I don't know. They haven't really said. But the moment I get back there, it's just all back.
Oh, okay. It just naturally comes out. No. So
I just like saying pasta and
because
garage.
I learned Spanish at home. You know, we only spoke Spanish at home. That's what I'm doing with my
in
kids.
the U.S.
Here in
though.
the US.
Milton,
I was-
Milton
my
moved from
father-
Colombia to here.
Yeah. So my whole family, you know, we're from Colombia, but we were born here. My brothers and I were born here, but we only spoke Spanish at home.
I see.
But our Spanish is different when we go back, or from my parents as well. You know, it's different. They're like, you're not from here. You learned somewhere else. You know?
Right.
Yeah, so they know right away, and that's kind of where the nickname came up. Even though I spoke perfect Spanish, my parents were Colombian. I was still El Gringo, playing over there in Colombia.
Colombia's high on my list to go visit,
Oh, it's awesome.
but it's been pegged as being very dangerous.
That was back in the day.
Now,
That was back in the day.
is
man.
it pretty cleaned
What's
up
the best
now?
city to go to?
Medellin and Cartagena.
Yeah.
Those are my two favorite. Cartagena because that's where I played and that's where I got to stay and I fell in love with it. It's the coast.
Yeah.
Beaches. I used to jog to the beach from where I lived every single day, and you know I'm a little biased there. But Medellin, you know, that's where my mother's from. They're actually there now.
Oh, really?
My parents are there now on a little vacation, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And it's the cost of living there is quite a bit lower, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is your wife from Colombia?
She's from Cartagena.
Really?
Mm-hmm. We lived in the same neighborhood while I was playing there, and we didn't know each other.
No way.
Really?
And we found out now later on.
Where'd you meet her?
Here
In the U.S.
Yeah. Oh, so there was a mutual friend,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Hey, your friend's kind of cute," and he's like, "Oh, she's single." Okay, cool.
And then you were like, send me some bikini pics.
No. I had to go visit her a couple times in Miami. And then eventually I was like, this whole long distance thing, you want to go live in the cool city of Columbia, South Carolina? and I was able to convince her.
Nice.
She must really like it.
She lets me have it all the time. She's like, we've been to every restaurant here. We'll find another one.
True.
When you compare it to Miami,
You know what I saw recently on Instagram, and it was just, I don't know how this stuff ends up on my feed.
Okay.
It was about Colombia, and they were basically saying, and there was like in Spanish, and then somebody was translating it in English.
Okay.
That it's normal to like have sex with donkeys. Like, is that have you seen that or heard that?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
It's a thing.
But that's out in the mountains. That's out like.
And they were like, yeah, these
remote,
people.
Remote Colombia, just that's
Why?
that's not.
How does that even? Why would that be
They're kids.
Yeah.
Like they're kids and they want to get it in.
That's
That's literally what they do, and that's our way. I don't associate me with that. Don't associate me, my family. Don't ask the typical Colombian if that's what they're doing. No.
Okay.
No.
Just wanted to clear that up.
That's
Oh man, because we had an au pair from Colombia, so I sent it to her. I was like, "Hey, is this a thing?" And she's like, "Yeah, not where I'm from, though." But I was like, "Oh my god, it was real."
You won't meet many Colombians from. It's like out in the mountains.
Yeah.
Where they don't get much action anywhere else, and that's what they're doing. No. But
that's wild.
it's frowned upon.
Is it so when you go to Colombia? Like if I was to go to Colombia, I'd be a gringo, obviously.
Yeah, you'd stand
Oh,
up.
you'd stand out big
Yes.
time.
So I'd be targeted.
For what? For a good time, maybe? For a good time.
men- yeah,
You're gonna have a lot of
men-
women coming up to you.
Men
That's
would,
what
be throwing themselves at you. And donkeys.
No, I mean, I meant theft wise.
No, man.
Crime wise.
You just gotta know the areas, man. If you're gonna go through a company, go through a company. If you're gonna go through a friend, now you know somebody from Colombia.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
You want to go? You got me. I can point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because just like anywhere else, there are places that that you can go into the wrong street. You can go to the wrong the wrong turn. It can get you in trouble. It's just kind of prepare the way who you're gonna hang out with. Don't take random taxis on the street. Just play it safe. Talk to the hotel, get them to get you a taxi. That type of thing. It's just don't risk it. Just because it might be faster or anything like that.
Colombian guys are tough and big too. Like I remember.
Really?
Yeah.
I
think
I'm like a basketball player.
Yeah, but when I think of like tough cultures, like when I was my wife and I went to Vietnam in 2009, I was like, they don't feel like aggressive to me at all.
Okay.
And same with Thailand. Actually, most of Asia, I never felt like anybody was aggressive.
Okay.
In Czech Republic, or I guess it was just Czech, I felt like they were a little more aggressive, but they weren't like they didn't like turn it on. You know what I mean? You'd have to provoke them for a long time.
Okay.
But when I think of South America,
now I see what
I
you're
think
saying.
of like
Yeah,
we have a guy from do you know Gibson Sa? He's a 3-time jiu-jitsu world champion.
Okay.
And he's just the nicest guy ever. But he just destroys people on
for a living.
For a living, and then teaches them. Yeah. And he said he's got a brother who's a police officer there, who's like the only person that he's actually scared of in the whole world.
Okay.
And when I think of him, I think, yep, that's a guy that would just look at you, smile, and you do the wrong thing, and boom, it's on.
I don't see it.
That doesn't happen.
No,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
I mean,
That's good for me to hear. So that I feel like there.
We're naturally loud, Latinos, we're speaking Spanish, we can get loud, but we're not fighting, People are like, oh, they fighting? No, we're just loud people.
Smiling. I think a lot of smiling.
Yeah, I think a lot of fun, but I also, for some reason, just think
people always say Colombia is one of the happiest countries in the world. I don't know if it's legit a stat or anything like that.
Yeah.
We can Google it, but it always seems like that, man. What happens here is that we're so busy with the day-to-day work, grind it out, provide. Right. Over there, man, the basics is what's necessary, right? If the guy can go work for 3 hours, 4 hours, and make it work for his family, and he gets to spend the next 4 hours with his family and longer time with his family, right. That's what they want to do. Yeah. It's just the culture, I feel when I go there, it feels like vacation all the time. When I was there, that's why I fell in love with it. I didn't get to live in Colombia younger or grow up in Colombia like my family did. But I did get to play there for a year, and when I was there, I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah,
the style of life.
Wow, 3 to 4 hours a day.
Mm-hmm. There's people,
yeah.
Then you get the other side of the coin too, as well. You get people that work, 10+ hours, hard workers as well. But they're good at finding balance. They want to hang out. The neighbors know each other. You know, I don't know my neighbors. I wave to them.
Right.
Yeah.
But do you know your neighbors? I don't know. But over there you do. Over there you hang out with your neighbors. Over there you walk to your neighbor's house. Tell, hey, let's go grab a beer at the, the corner.
Yeah.
Let's talk for a little bit. Your friends, that there's community there.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes that's lacking here. My son can't go play on the street the way they do.
Right.
So that's kind of what I feel like is lacking.
It's an interesting concept because one of the things that I like about living in a big city is that I get more choice of who I hang out with.
Okay.
When I think of a small town where there's 500 people, you don't really get to choose who you hang out with. You just hang out with whoever's available. But when you come to Colombia and it's like you can choose the most driven person ever to hang out with, or you can choose the most laid back hangout person, or anything in between. If you decide on your church, you can go to the most, like rock concert church, or you can go to the one where they're singing hymns for 45 minutes. Like you have all these options,
Yeah, of course.
which I kind of like, but I think I do miss the idea of just playing with all your friends, which I had that growing up.
Where I'm seeing it right now is with my son. He loves soccer. He's a big soccer player. He got to see me play for a little bit, and he wants me to train him. He'll get up and say, "Hey, is it time for practice?" And I'm like, "Hey, you trained already this morning. Let's do it again."
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna tell you no. Let's do it. And what I see over there, you compare it. Those kids are. That's why soccer is a little bit behind the United States.
Right.
It's because it's engraved in the culture over there. Those kids are going out there and playing with their friends soccer all the time. That's play for them. They don't have Nintendos. They're not playing PlayStation 5s and all the new gadgets. They're going outside for fun, and they're kicking the ball back and forth. Naturally, you're going to be better at soccer than the typical American that didn't get to do that, right? Over here, comparing it to my son's schedule, he's got one practice a week, and then he's got a weekend game. And that's it.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that he naturally tells me, let's play. I'm like, okay, let's do it then, because I kind of know, and he wants to go far with it, and he's only 5 years old. He sees Ronaldo and Messi and stuff. He the funny thing is, he saw Ronaldo getting on a plane, and he's like, "Is that plane his?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can I get a plane if I go play soccer?" And I'm like, "You got to make it pretty damn far, son." He's like, "I was like, we need to turn off YouTube and train right now." And he was like, "All right, let's do it." So, but the fact that he thought about that, 5 years old,
right?
He's like, he's got his own plane. I was like, yeah.
You might not get a plane, but let me tell you some stories from Australia.
It was worth it. None. Just the fact that he brought that up, I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Like,
That is cool.
That's what you're thinking. That's what goes through your 5-year-old's head when he's watching these videos." I thought that was really cool. But I also tell him that's very hard to do. That is very hard to do. To make it that far, I was like, you got to cut out Nintendo almost. Kind of. There's a quote by Kobe. It's like, if people don't misunderstand you, you're not doing it right, or something like that. I can't remember the quote right now. It's just like, you have to be sick with it. Like, you have to want to train all the time. And it's kind of hard because he's 5 years old. So I'm not trying to be that type of guy on him. Train. But I kind of instill it in him just verbally. I'm like, hey, you have to really want it. You have to want to train more than you're playing Nintendo. It's got to come naturally, or else it doesn't happen.
Hockey's like that too in Canada. Both my brothers have outdoor or hockey rinks in their backyards.
Okay.
And my nieces have a hockey rink in their schoolyard.
Okay.
So they just play all day, every day for months at a time. Here, if my girls really want to go learn how to skate and play hockey, I have to drive 45 minutes to get 30 minutes once a week, and that's the only time that's available to them. They don't have a chance.
Exactly. And then you play, if they follow, that if they want to play in college, or if they go older, you go compare them to a Canadian. You're like, whoa, it's a whole different level.
I told them they're golfing. I'm just putting them straight in golf.
It's a whole different level. No, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What should we know if we're getting our roof done? What's like a common courtesy thing? Like, should we bring water outside? Should we offer anything to the roofers?
As a customer?
Yeah, as a customer.
Nah, hang on. Just we'll cover you.
Just stay away.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Really?
You don't want to stay in the house just because it gets loud.
Yeah.
So hey, go hang out.
What's like
we'll keep you updated.
What's like the nicest thing has anybody done anything where?
Oh, there's a lot of nice homeowners. They've brought pizzas out.
Really?
Waters, Gatorades. I've guys going by them like on a Friday night.
Yeah.
They come with 2 cases of beers, and I'm like, drink that when you guys get home. Not right now.
Yeah.
But no, we get a lot of nice.
Just getting the
homeowners,
morale high.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm wondering. If like right when the roofers show up, you go, "Hey, got 2 cases of beer here. You guys enjoy yourselves
Give
afterwards."
me a good job, or
Yeah.
They do things like that. Yeah.
That's why I always try to buy them something or get them
Yeah, you do?
something. And my wife makes them something.
Okay.
Because I just feel like if you know that the homeowner's giving you something and you see something's wrong, you're just going to fix it.
Oh yeah.
Versus if they just ignore you the whole time,
This
you're
guy
going to
gave
be
me
like,
some muffins. I'm gonna do this.
I think that's a thing.
Big muffin guy over here.
No. Maybe.
No, so I saw it was veteran owned. Was your father in the?
Yes.
Really nice.
Yes.
And then I see that you match the ICS, right? So International Construction Services to the core values, ICS. Was that thought out, or was that kind of no way?
It wasn't thought out.
Really?
The integrity, consistency, and satisfaction came, I'd say about 4 or 5 years ago when we kind of.
Yeah.
Not gonna take all the credit for it, but it's kind of when we started drilling in the social media and this.
Right.
And that, I thought it'd be cool, and it is our core values today.
It just worked out.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But yeah, my father was in the 82nd Airborne. So he jumped out of planes.
How about that?
Yeah, so he's a family badass. He's done a lot of cool things.
And why is it called international construction? Is it because you work internationally or because you have international people?
No. Nothing. It sounded catchy, and that's what him and his business partner back when they were in Charlotte came up with, and that's what stuck.
They just like the word
Yeah.
international, even though there was no international component.
Well, we're Colombians.
There you go.
There you go. But
Yeah,
I don't know if that was
Have
the
they-
reason behind it.
Have you guys ever done a roof in like say Mexico or
No.
Canada or no?
No.
Not yet. Maybe.
I was trying to figure it out when I first saw the name of your company, why it would be international.
It makes it seem like massive though.
Yeah.
I think it's a good
Oh, that's cool.
I think if an average person's reading it, they're going, "Oh, this is a big, international company."
Okay, cool. One of those happy accidents, I guess.
Yeah.
What do you and your wife do for fun? And what is your wife involved in the business?
Yes.
She does, nice.
She does some part-time stuff for me.
Sweet.
She's kind of like my secretary, so kind of assistant she's helping me out with.
Are you allowed to tell her that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
nice.
No. I tell her that all the time.
Okay, good.
And I make
Yeah.
fun of her and say, yeah, you're my assistant, man. But no. She loves it. It keeps her active because she's a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I keep her active. And,
Sweet.
She loves it. It distracts her from the day-to-day with the kids.
Playing soccer with her
From playing
5-year-old
soccer
9
with
hours a
5
day.
No.
Yeah.
Well, we also have a daughter. Yeah, she takes up more time than he does, believe it or not. But
I believe it. I have
she's-
2
yeah.
daughters.
she's turning 2 in February.
Oh.
Sorry, March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys go to the movies. You guys go
Restaurants.
restaurants.
Yeah, that's kind of why she makes fun of me. She's
Yeah.
like, we've kind of been at everything in town, right? We're big on restaurants, trying new spots.
Been to Ratio over here.
We love ratios.
Great.
Yeah. Javier,
Been to Bodhi
Javier's got
Thai.
a good spot out there. Bodhi, that's another great one. We love them.
Those are like
two.
top. Yeah.
Those are good. I'll be honest with you, just
You pretty
knocked
much
off
been
my
to
list,
all.
right?
Yeah.
No, we do. Halls is good.
Yeah.
Smoked. You
Yeah.
guys tried smoked?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Those types of restaurants, and we just we actually when we go to Charlotte or we travel, we went to go visit a family member in Charlotte yesterday, and we just try to look up new spots to go to. That's kind of our thing.
Yeah.
Let's look up cool spots. It's kind of gotten tough now with my daughter because taking her to a restaurant
Right.
is somewhat of a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, my son made it. He set the bar way too high. My
He
son
was easy.
was so easy.
Yeah.
Barely cried at restaurants. He was chilling the whole time. Oh, this is easy.
Yeah.
Okay, my daughter.
Running around.
She threw the fork across the room yesterday. She was slamming it against the plate. I'm like, no, we can't. No, she's throwing her food and everything. No, we can't do this. We can't do this. So before we get ready, we're like, take out. Yeah, take out.
Yeah. And then my last question was, are you sponsored by Nike? Because you have on a full hat, shirt, coat, pants, shoes. How about underwear, socks? Are they Nike?
No.
Socks,
Underwear
Nike?
Socks, no.
No underwear.
No underwear. Never wears underwear.
Actually, Adidas for the
Really?
Yeah. I went
That's a
there.
twist
Nike
that
should
we didn't
sponsor you.
expect.
That was always a dream of mine, honestly.
Just to get.
I've always liked Nike. I
Yeah.
always thought Nike. The way I look at it, I feel like Adidas, from a cleats perspective, right?
Yeah.
I wear a lot of cleats. I don't want to get sued or anything, but for me, Adidas was always better quality.
Oh,
And
really?
Nike was just always cooler.
Yeah.
I just felt like
Yeah.
my cleats would last longer with Adidas, but I was always like, dang, those Nikes look nice.
Right.
And I just always thought
Yeah.
Nike was cooler, and that was always a dream of mine to get sponsored by Nike, and one day it'll happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What? Maybe through your son.
Through my
Maybe your son will get sponsored.
Maybe,
Yeah.
Be nice. All right, my last question. What was your move in soccer? What was your go-to move?
Tackling people. Yeah, because I was a defender.
So you get red carded.
You're thinking of like the move, like the what you see on TV all the time, highlight stuff. I was the dirty work.
But I'm thinking of like a fake.
That's what
Like
I'm saying.
in hockey, there's always a move. I know if I get a breakaway, I've got
Okay.
2 moves that work
Nah, so
90% of the time.
I guess it's in the back. You can't risk it that much. If I'm doing a move and I get caught, behind me is the goal, and we're getting
Yeah.
scored on.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Defenders don't really
Yeah,
have
yeah,
moves.
so-
So moves.
That's what I'm saying. I was just rough, tougher, and I just like defending. That was just my game.
Yeah.
So you get kicked out sometimes.
I've gotten a few. I got 2 red cards my whole career.
Right. So you know how they have the thing in their pocket and they pull it out and you don't know if it's going to be yellow or
Yeah.
red?
Well, that's the red card that I'm telling you about.
Guy has no idea.
I
what's
don't.
on there.
I've only seen it on FIFA.
I've
FIFA
realized
soccer.
that. No, I'm messing with you, man. So that's the yellow card or the red card. And
Yeah,
that's the
but
card
you don't
that-
know what's coming out when they're
you do-
pulling it
Well,
out.
you
You have an idea, but you're
yeah.
hoping it's yellow, not red.
I mean, you kind of know. If you, yeah, you kind of know.
If you deserve,
You kind of know.
whenever you
You're
got
like,
a red
I
card, you
deserve
knew
it.
you deserved it.
You always argue it. The guys are always gonna say no,
Yeah.
no, right?
You always
I
pretend
had-
you're injured.
I had a ref pull out a red and have it by his hand, and I was holding his hand like no, like I slipped, and because I slipped on a tackle, and you're not supposed to go studs up, but since I slipped, I was falling backwards, and all you saw was studs, and
Right into his
I
leg.
killed the guy, yeah.
Oh.
And the ref pulled. It was the first 5 minutes of
Yeah.
the game. It was the first 5 minutes again. I was like, oh, we're about to go, man. There's no way. I put my hand. I was like, please, no, I slipped. You won't see another tackle. And the other team freaked out right when he put
Right.
it away and took out the yellow.
Oh.
I was able to convince him, but the other team was letting him have it. Like, what do you
Right.
mean? He
Right.
convinced you. And then I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. I got away with it.
Yeah, hockey guys don't realize how hard it is and how tough soccer players are. They wear.
We
I mean,
don't. We think.
Imagine getting a cleat to the leg.
I mean, that wouldn't feel good.
Yeah.
But imagine falling down because an airplane flew beside you.
Oh my! All the sports are doing it now. It's becoming a thing.
I think there is a
Now,
little-
if hockey starts doing it, you guys will lose a lot of respect just because you go fist to fist.
Right.
Once
It's a cult.
It's
yeah,
happening in
a
football
culture
right
thing.
now.
football, they're
Football.
doing it.
Mahomes is doing it, yeah.
Basketball doing it. Mahomes,
Yeah.
I saw that. That's
Yes.
going viral right now. The tough one, supposed to be a very tough
Yeah.
sport. It's because hey, if I can get 10 more yards,
Yep.
I'll fake it.
Yeah.
They're flopping. Now I do hate the guys that roll over 20 extra times and that they try to sell it and stuff like that. But hey, flopping is like.
Yeah.
They're just
You're trying to be
screaming. They're
smart about it.
screaming so loud. The weird part is when they're screaming so loud, fake.
And then they get up and play later.
Yeah, and they're like, all right, I'm okay now.
Oh, the guy got a yellow? Okay, I can
Yep.
play now. I'm fine now.
What is some of the stuff they're spraying? When they come out and somebody is on the field and they spray like that magic spray?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's the
Is it like numbing or
kind of like those.
That's what
those
it
hot,
is.
Those hot sprays.
I always
Like,
wondered
I
that.
don't know, does Icy Hot have one
Icy,
or like
yeah,
Icy
Icy
Bengay
Hot's
or something?
one.
It's like a spray
Yeah.
and it kind of like gives you that burning sensation.
Yeah.
Kind of numbing pain.
It's like magical.
That's what. After he's broken his leg and
Yeah,
screamed, he's like, "Oh, the spray worked. Yeah, I'm back to playing." So that's exactly what you're talking about.
That's
There.
it.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Well, this has been great. So, how can we support you? How can people who are listening? What can they do?
No, just pay, hear us out. Give me a like, follow.
Yeah.
That type of thing. I'm here also to get the word out. I'm trying to do personal branding. This is one
Yeah.
of the first podcasts I've ever been on. I hope to be on some more.
Sweet.
So yeah, it's just
What's Instagram? What's the websites? What's all that?
my Instagram is Fernando Posada. Well, my last name is with 2 A's. Just because my name was already taken by another Fernando Posada. And then the ICS one is at ICS_Inc_.
Nice.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you for being on the show.
No
This was
problem.
great.
Thank you guys for having me.
we're here for the health of it.
For the health of it.